Hello and welcome to the Indiana State Police Public Information Program. I'm your host today, Sergeant Dave Burston, Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police at the Indianapolis Post. Well, we're coming into the month of November, and I know what's on the forefront of my mind. We've got our first snows on the way, winter driving, a concern of the state police and a concern of everybody that has to drive in this kind of weather is getting to and from safely. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to first go out to the Indiana State Police Headquarters garage, take a look at the maintenance that's performed on the vehicles there and some things that you should be looking at as far as maintaining your vehicle. Then we'll be coming back to the studio where you will meet Sergeant Mike Nichols, who is a Indiana State Police training sergeant, and he'll be talking about some important factors about driving and being prepared for the winter driving. So please stay tuned. We're going to be right back with a great program for you. Don't go away.
Hey, pull over! Uh-oh, Vince. They're really cracking down on safety belts these days.
What's up, officer?
I'm giving you a ticket for committing an 811.
Safety belt violation.
Compliments of Barney Fife.
We never wear safety belts. We're dummies.
Weisenheimers.
He gave us a ticket.
Man's got to do what he's got to
do. You chose to ignore the speed limit. This is the next 60 minutes of your life.
It might hurt him. Just leave him there, okay?
I need to figure out a lot. I'm going to place you under arrest.
Speeding gets you nowhere. Fast.
What a day for love. Love, love. It's a day for love. Love, love. What a day for love. It's a lovely day.
The 90s are not the 60s. In a world this dangerous, there's no such thing as a harmless drug. Talk to your kids about marijuana.
Only you
Can prevent forest fire.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Smoky says.
drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Smoky says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Here we are at the Indiana State Police Headquarters Garage located in Indianapolis, and this is the point where all Indiana State Police vehicles start their career and end their career when they're equipped, serviced, and maintained here at this facility. Standing to my right is Automotive Mechanic Supervisor Randy Hodge. Randy, welcome to the program.
Nice to be here, Dave.
It's good to have you. Let's start out by telling people how long have you been with the department and what are your functions?
I just turned 18 years on the department. I started as a line mechanic, matter of fact, on this rack right here.
Right in this very facility.
This is right here. And I worked through all of the positions throughout the garage, did pretty much everything. And I've been a supervisor now for about a year and a half.
Randy, for our audience, can you highlight what the different areas are within the garage as far as some people may be under the misconception that thinking they just get equipped here or taken out, but this is a full service garage, isn't it?
Oh yes, we can do anything to a car from the front bumper to the back. Anything that has to do with as far as engine, drivetrain, the whole car, and we do.
Now we're coming up, it's in November now. We're concerned about winter driving, people being safe on the road and being safe before getting on the road. Do you have any tips for people as far as things that they should check maintenance-wise before we get into the winter season?
Well, yes, there's many things that should be checked periodically on any vehicle. We check our cars at every service interval, which is at every 5,000 miles. We service these cars, and we check all the fluids on it and check everything under the hood and, you know, make sure everything's holding up well. But there are several things that you ought to look at before you get into your winter season, and of course, and that is to start with your coolant level and your coolant far as the freeze level on the coolant. They have a tester that you can get from any mechanic, or you can go down to your local shop and buy you an antifreeze tester and put it in there. It'll pull up a sample, test it, and see what the freeze level is.
Now, Randy, how often should people change their antifreeze?
It's a good idea to have your system flushed and refilled with new coolant at least every other year. There's some people do it every year, but most manufacturers will recommend about at least every other year.
Okay, from antifreeze levels, what's the next thing that people should be concerned with?
Well, you always should make sure that your battery's in good condition, that the connections are good and clean and tight, and there's no corrosion built up on it. Then, of course, you want to. One thing that a lot of people forget about is the windshield washer tank. A lot of people will run water in it through the summer, which that's fine, and you won't have any problem with that. But in the wintertime, you've got to have full strength antifreeze, windshield solvent antifreeze, not like the other antifreeze.
That's an important thing to make sure people know it's not the same stuff.
Not the same stuff, right? It will smear, the antifreeze in the car will smear where this is more of an alcohol base. But if you don't have a good concentration in here, it could freeze up, bust your reservoir, and it won't hold any water, and then you won't be able to do it.
That creates even more problems.
Oh yes.
And you can pick up that type of fluid at any store.
Oh yeah, it's readily available at many different places. I'm sure people have seen it sitting out, especially coming up winter months. They have a tendency to stock up and get it out on the aisle. Yeah.
Yes.
You need to make sure that your brake fluid is always up at a good level. This is the power steering unit on this car. Now on every car is different, so you won't necessarily find these items in the same location, and you probably should check your owner's manual as to the location of all the fluids on your own personal car.
And for a reference, the car we're looking at here is a 1996 Ford Crown Victoria, correct?
Right.
So again, Randy brings up a good point. Check your owner's manual to find out where these different fluid reservoirs are located.
And another thing you want to make sure is take a look at the location of your belts, and take a look and see if you're getting any cracking or fraying of the belts. That's something else. But all these things should be checked on a regular basis anyway, but you want to make sure they're in good shape in the winter, because that's the last thing you need is to blow a belt off and be stranded on the side of the road.
So all of this can be done with a visual inspection.
Yes, very well.
Let's talk about tires.
Yeah, tires, you definitely in the wintertime need good tread on your tires to handle the snow and the slush. These tires here, you look at it, of course, this is a new car, and they're in great shape. You want to be able to go no farther down than 2/32 above the wear bar. There's a wear bar in the tire that's on there, and about 2/32 above that is about as low as you'd want a tire to go.
Randy, thank you very much for pointing these things out to our viewers. I know it'll help make a safer winter driving experience for everybody.
My pleasure.
Thanks for watching the program. We've got some important messages here coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
A 38-year-old single mother working 2 jobs so she can raise her kids in a decent neighborhood. A 26-year-old drug dealer. A new neighbor looking for new customers. At stake, her children. Whose side are you on? You can help the community organizations that can help her. Call us. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
How do you stop child abuse? Simple. Never let it start. Now there's a program that can help do just that. It's reaching new parents early on, teaching them how to cope with the stresses that lead to abuse. It's achieving unprecedented results. But we need your help. Imagine if we all pulled together what we could have. Call 1-800-CHILDREN today, because the more you help, the less they hurt.
Don't you think you ought to slow down? The speed limit's 55, you know.
Who cares? There isn't a cop for miles. Watch me blow the doors off this Camaro. So, when did you guys get those Camaros?
We've had them a while, and they really are helping us save lives. Have a nice day.
Just when you thought it was safe to speed, coming to a highway near you, no one driving over the speed limit will be safe.
Hello and welcome back to the program. I hope that you found the information that we presented to you out at the State Police Garage to be helpful in the maintenance of your vehicle in preparation for winter driving this season. We all remember what a bad winter last year was. Hopefully we're not going to have a repeat this year. Now in the studio with me now, I'd like to introduce Sergeant Mike Nichols. Mike, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Can you fill in our viewers and tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the department, what your assignments are now?
Hired on the department in July of 1988. I was originally assigned to the Peru post.
So way up north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the Arctic North, though.
But the weather's a little bit different up north. We have a different weather pattern here in the Indianapolis area, so a little harsher winter.
That's true. Worked there for 6 years, and I've been in our training division for 2 years now.
Now, what do you do in the training division?
My main assignment is I'm in charge of our driving program, teaching our recruits and in-service people proper way of driving.
So you do a lot with here at the Law Enforcement Academy, which is where the studios are located that we're at today. They have the driving facility here, so you spend a lot of time training the new recruits and in-service training.
That's correct.
So, well, we're talking to the right person then. So I know that one thing that we see more and more now with the increase and introduction of the ABS or automatic braking systems, there's really a difference between how somebody brakes their car with ABS or if they don't have ABS.
That's correct. With ABS or anti-lock brakes, people apply firm, even pressure to the brake and keep the pedal depressed while they're wanting to slow or stop. And the ABS system will prevent your tires from locking up, and you're still able to steer while you're braking.
So somebody that has ABS, if they are in a snow and ice situation, they apply the brakes. First of all, they're going to feel a strange vibrating sound, or they're going to hear and feel the difference from old style brakes.
That's correct. The brake pedal will actually vibrate or pulsate, and they may hear kind of a growling sound from underneath the hood. And there's no animal.
It sounded like grinding to me. I thought, oh God, what's happened the first time that it went on?
Right, and the system is it's activated and it's working. There's nothing wrong with the system.
So when somebody hears that, what they should not do, they shouldn't release pressure. They should keep the pressure on the brake.
That's correct. Firm, even pressure on the brake and keep it there until they have slowed enough or stopped.
Now let's talk about a little bit about somebody that's driving a vehicle without ABS on snow or icy conditions. What are the differences in how they should brake?
The difference is there with standard brakes, they need to apply the brake and pump them. And basically what they're doing is they're causing the tires to lock or stop, and then when they release them, the tires rotate a little bit, and then they apply the brake again. And it's done several times.
So it's a constant pumping, apply pressure, release, because I think it's important for people to remember that a skidding tire, you cannot steer. You can turn the wheel, but you're going to keep going the way you started to skid.
That's correct. The momentum's going to carry you the way you initially started to skid.
So when somebody gets behind the wheel of a car that they've not driven before, they should probably look around for that ABS emblem to see if the car is ABS equipped.
Right. Some cars are equipped with that emblem. The owner's manual will tell them. And also on the dashboard, there's a light that lights up that says it'll blink when you initially start the car. It'll say ABS, and then the light will go off, and that's a sign that the car is equipped with the system.
Well, that brings up another point. We hadn't talked about this before, so I'm going to put you on the spot, okay? So I can see the beads of sweat forming already. Somebody has ABS, and that light comes on, and it stays on. That means that the ABS system needs to be serviced, but more than likely, the braking system is still working.
That's correct. When that light comes on and stays on, you still have standard brakes.
Standard brakes,
right?
Where we're all used to.
That's correct. Where the front wheels could lock up.
Okay. So that's where they need to be concerned about, and they still should get that serviced as soon as possible.
That's correct. What they may try or what they should do is turn the vehicle off, wait a minute, and turn it back on. A lot of times with the new computer systems, they have electronic jumpers or relays that this turn it off, turn it back on may reset it.
Good point to know. Please stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more information about winter driving.
Say Merry Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas? Yeah, get lots of stuff. Yay! Get your horsey. Do something cute. You're just gonna sit there and grin.
Next time your friend insists on driving drunk, do whatever it takes to stop him.
In the United States, someone is injured in a crash every 10 seconds.
Speeding.
Each year, hundreds of thousands of people are critically injured. Many become disabled for life. Many die. The costs are devastating. I know, because I'm an emergency physician at a trauma center. Every day I see needless suffering and injury from traffic crashes caused by driving too fast. Don't fool yourself. Speed shatters life.
Look at this. Marijuana can mess you up. Right. We've been getting high for what? 15 years? Nothing's ever happened. Did I get into all the drugs and start mugging people? Nah. Didn't do anything. In fact, I'd say I'm exactly the same as when I smoked my first joint.
Eddie, did you even look for a job today?
No, Ma.
Marijuana can make nothing happen to you, too.
There are lots of different names for noses. Snout, schnoz, ski slope, booger factory. But no matter what kind you have, or what you call it, if you use your nose to sniff household stuff to get high, you could get brain damage. Or die. And that's called just plain stupid.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Mike, something else that should be a concern for everybody, whether they have a short commute or a long daily commute, or especially if they're taking that long trip to go visit grandma over the holiday seasons, is having a well-stocked trunk in the event of an emergency. Could you go over some items that should be carried?
Yes, Indiana State Police recommend that you carry work gloves, a small snow shovel, a spare container of windshield wiper fluid, jumper cables, flashlight and flares, a rag to clean your headlights, an ice scraper, a blanket, an emergency food supply like nuts and candy bars, a first aid kit, and something for emergency traction like kitty litter.
Now also, we were talking during the break that it's not a bad idea to have a cellular phone.
That's correct. You need to have some form of communication should you get stuck.
So CB radio, cellular phone, and you commented that you got one for your wife?
Yeah, she has about a 40-minute commute every day, and we live out in a rural area. A lot of times the roads get drifted shut, or a lot of snow on them. And so it's just a safety blanket.
It gives you a little peace of mind.
It does.
And something else that now is your wife's. Now I'm going to put you on the spot here. Did you get her a hands-free model, or is it one that she has to hold up next to her?
We got her one she has to hold up next to her.
Any words of wisdom as far as using your cellular phone while you're driving?
Well, I recommended to her that she pull off to the side of the road to use it, because that way her attention isn't distracted from driving.
Yeah, the best, if you're able to have a hands-free model, that's kind of the best, because then it's kind of just like you're talking to somebody in the car. But whenever you start having to hold the phone up to your ear and you're trying to drive, it distracts from the task at hand, that is driving, to get to and from where you're going in a safe manner. So the best thing to do is to pull off to the side of the road and make your call that way. You were telling me also what one of your biggest pet peeves are as far as winter driving. Can you share that with our viewers?
Well, that's when people just, like especially early in the morning, a lot of people run late for work, and all they scrape is just a little hole, enough for them to see out the window.
Yeah, you can see that, just that teeny little spot.
Right.
What'd you call it? Like
it's like driving a tank, because that's all you see is just that little square. And that takes away from your peripheral vision, because you don't have, all your windows are clean, so you can't see out the sides or the back that well.
So it's a good idea to take the time to be able to start the car, let it adequately warm up, completely scraped the windshield and the rear view, also the rear window, and cleaned the snow off. One of my pet peeves is when the snow builds up on the bumpers, either on the front or the back, and then it obstructs the headlights or the taillights. You can't see the car in front of you that they're braking because you don't see the lights come on.
That's true. Or when the snow that's built up on the roof or the hood blows off onto the windows.
And then somebody's driving along, and as they're driving, that is blowing back onto the cars behind them. So that creates a hazard. And it's all just a matter of taking that few seconds of time to be ready to drive your car in a safe manner and take the time to safely prepare the car. Please stay tuned to these messages. We're going to be right back with more information for you.
Don't you love that safe, free feeling you get in a pickup truck, Larry?
Yeah, nothing but you, me, the open road, a deer.
Yeah! A cow! Yeah! An ostrich! The village people! The village people!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Especially in pickup trucks.
I didn't know the village people were doing a road tour.
They say party's cool. They say it's a great high. They say everybody does it. They say they're your friends. They're pulling your strings.
If you don't stop someone from driving drunk, who will? Do whatever it takes.
Sarah is a lot like you and me. She loves pepperoni pizza and spy novels. She likes her work. She doesn't drink or do drugs. And one day, just like you and me, she was in a hurry. So she ignored the speed limit and drove too fast.
Speeding gets you nowhere fast.
Hello and welcome back to the program. And like we've heard so many times in the state of Indiana, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change. And now we see here we are inside the studio, completely deluged in snow. It's going to be a few inches if we don't stop this. So through the powers of modern technology, snow is gone.
Don't you wish you could do that when you're driving?
I wish we could. It'd make it a lot easier out on the road. Speaking of doing that in heavy snow, what's your recommendations as far as if the roads are starting to really get nasty? Should you pull off to the side of the road and stop?
I need to pull off into a safe place. Rest parks, gas stations, parking lots, someplace where you can get in out of the cold, also where there's other people.
I think that's a key point there, making sure there are other people, a business that is open. What are some of the hazards of stopping on the road?
Well, if you stop on the road with the snow on the ground, it's hard to find where the ditches are, where the berm or the side of the roads are. Also, if you leave your vehicle there, it could get plowed in by the snow plows going by. And also, if you don't have the things that we had mentioned earlier, it could be a cold wait till someone comes by.
It could be a very cold, long wait. I remember reading an article, it was Reader's Digest, about a gentleman that was in a rural part of, I think, Pennsylvania, and he was caught in a bad snowstorm. His car was covered over. Nobody even knew he was there, and just by the grace of God and some dedicated highway workers, when he was reported missing, they knew what his route of travel was, fortunately, and they were able to find him, but he had been there for an extended period of time. Also, stopping on the side of the road, other motorists may not know that's the side of the road. They may see your taillights, and the next thing the snow is very deceiving. You can't tell motion as well as normal, and they may drive into the back of you.
That's true.
So other things to think about.
If you do have to stop at the side of the road, you have no choice. You may tie a article of clothing or some type of pennant to your antenna.
Probably not white, though, in the snowstorm. That's not going to be very
effective.
Visible. That brings back, again, the importance of either having a cellular phone, CB radio, some way to make communication. We talked at the beginning of the show, out at the State Police Garage, we talked about some of the safety points of checking tires, antifreeze, and so forth. But since we're coming up to the close of the program, could you recap some of those important things in preparation for winter driving?
Need to make sure they have good wipers on the car for the windshield. Also, they need to make sure they have a lot of windshield washer fluid. If you remember, we recommended carrying an extra gallon of that.
Keep some more in the vehicle, yes.
Make sure the radiator fluid is good, that it'll withstand the cold temperatures. Make sure you carry those items in your trunk or in the back of your vehicle, the candy and the nuts and the gloves and the shovel, and of course, as we've mentioned, the cellular phone for communications.
And speaking of communication, something else that we haven't talked about, we're going to be popping the number up on your screen. If you want road information, you can do several things. What we would recommend is calling the road information number that's being displayed on the screen now. During winter storms, sometimes it's hard to get through to this number. A lot of times people are tempted to call the state police post. While we always welcome calls to the post to try and help the public, in heavy snowstorms, I know you know from your experience up in Tipton, and I know from working in the Indianapolis area, we have troopers going from accident scene to accident scene to accident scene, and then we have somebody call up and say, can you tell us what the roads are like? And if they're snowy and icy out on the interstate or on the side roads, it's probably that way in your own backyard. A lot of common sense involved in deciding whether to take the trip or not.
That's true. And probably the easiest thing to do is just slow down, take your time.
Excellent point there. Better to arrive alive than not at all, or to have some sort of tragic occurrence happen while you're trying to get there. Any other closing thoughts from your perspective? Final comments?
Just try and heed our warnings. You know, when the weather comes out, listen to the weatherman before you take your trip.
Excellent point there. I'd like to thank you very much for being a part of the program. Again, our guest today has been Sergeant Mike Nichols from the Indiana State Police Training Division, and it's been great to have you on the program. Thanks so much.
My pleasure, Dave.
Okay, it's good to have you here. We hope that you have enjoyed this edition of the Indiana State Police Public Information Program, and that you have a safe, very safe, holiday season and winter driving season. We're in the peak part of the months coming up, and now in November, coming up into December, January, February. Those are always our harshest months for driving. We want to see you safe and sound wherever you go, and part of that, aside from using some common sense, means to also use your seat belts. Seat belts save your lives, the other lives of motorists. It can mean the difference between having a happy holiday or no holiday at all. So please remember to buckle up. The life you save may be your own or that of somebody you love. Until next time, drive safely, don't eat too much turkey, and don't eat too much pumpkin pie. Bye-bye.